Fuck! How do I deal with this low spam? Come on, man, just block the second low and punish the mid. Even my granny can do that. Okay, I'll try. Yeah, block low, block low.
Fight.
I think there's a big misconception online on dealing with king's alley kicks. Well, I'm going to explain you my way, which I think is risk-reward wise the better option. First of all, I'm going to explain you the beginner way on dealing with it. I know as a beginner you need to learn the animation more, you need to get like more into the game. Blocking low, blocking mid, changing between blocking low and mid is quite hard. So I'm going to give you my easy explanation on dealing with it. And then after that I'll give you the intermediate version where you're actually reacting to the things he's doing. Now, what are king's alley kicks? Well, alley kicks is a string of king. A lot of times it's referred to as king's low spam. Alley kicks is down 3 plus 4. You can do one alley kick, you can do two alley kicks with down 3 plus 4, 4, and then 3, down 3 plus 4, 4, 4. Now every time he does a low, he can actually go into a mid with 2. So he can do down 3 plus 4, 2. He can do down 3 plus 4, 4, 2. And down 3 plus 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 2. Now for this move, what is a natural combo and what can you guard in between? Well, if I do the full string like this, you can see I can block after the first 2 hits. And if I get hit by the third hit, I will eat the mid. I cannot block that mid. So if you never have seen this move and you don't know how to deal with it, well, it nets king 38 damage, which is quite a lot. Also, he can do it from really far away because the first low has pretty good range. So they started up from a bit further or they started up from here and you ate 38 damage every time. Also, the mid wall splat, so you eat 38 damage plus a wall combo. Well, the move seems really good, right? What is the catch here? Well, the mid is actually launch punishable, it's minus 15. This means that a lot of the cast can just hop kick it. So if I manage to block the third low and then I stand up to block the mid, I can actually launch him for it. So, bam, that's a punish. At the starting ranks, king players will just throw out the full string because they don't expect you to block it, because it nets them 38 damage. So yeah, if you learn to block it there and then punish, that's great. And that's why a lot of YouTubers and a lot of tutorials say you gotta block the second hit after he does it. So you gotta start blocking on the second hit like this, and then you learn to punish the move. That's okay at the starting ranks, but at higher ranks like high green, yellow and even orange ranks, you really get in trouble for it. Why? The king player, they know you're going to block the second hit and they will do this. And then you get wall splatted and it hurts a lot. You're so used to the animation that you block low and you get hit by this. Another thing they say is you block the second low and then you low parry, so like this. Or do a hop kick or another low crushing move to get a launcher. Even though I don't recommend it, if you really want to block the second low, let's say you don't want to change your ways of dealing with this, or you only have a sliver of life left and you don't want to die, then I'd suggest you do the hop kick way or the low parry way. Why? Because if you block the second hit and you let him go for the third low, he has another mix-up where he can say, I'm not going to do the mid. So he sees that you block the second low and he's just going to get away with it and do nothing. You can punish this, but you kind of gotta be really on point. And if you see the animation, you can react to it, but it's hard. So I would say then just low parry it or do the hop kick. So a smarter king player will only throw out this move at the wall. Why? Because the mid wall splats and the risk reward is higher for him. Also, the king player is prone to doing just one low into a mid. Why is that? Why doesn't he do 2 lows into a mid or 3 lows into a mid at the wall? Well, if this move counter hits, like I'll put on my counter hit and then it does it, I can't block anymore. So if king does a down forward 1 into 1 alley kick and then the mid, and I'll electric to keep him out, this happens. So he'll get a counter hit, Stop it. Yeah. He'll get a counter hit, he wall splats me, and he gets a wall combo, and it does a lot of damage. So in my opinion, if king does the first low and you eat it, don't duck, because he might do the mid and you eat the full wall splat combo. Now what happens if he goes into the second low? Well, you still have a mix-up between the third mid or the third low. So he's probably thinking like, oh man, this guy didn't block the two lows. Well, I'm going to do the third low into the mid. Like that. And what happens is the following. You're going to block the third low, block the mid, and get a full launch punish on him. So you're probably asking, what if he does two lows and then the mid? Well, I think the match has to have gone really far for him to do that, because the risk reward of doing two lows into a mid is not that high for him. So if he does that, then you already launched him like 4 times for doing alley kicks, I think, and then yeah, he's probably not going to do that anymore. In conclusion, I would say the king player will probably do 1 low into the mid or 3 lows into the mid, which means you gotta stand up for the second hit. So if he does an alley kick, don't try to block it low, but try to block it mid. And then punish. Or if he does one more, this and the other one, bam, block it like this and punish. There is one other property you have to keep in mind for the move. It's that if king managed to get a counter hit on the first one, he can do 5 lows, and if you don't manage to block the 4th low, he actually gets a big hop kick on you, like this. And that's guaranteed, so you gotta block the 4th low then. As a starting player, I don't recommend to constantly keep this in mind and constantly be busy with this, because the situation doesn't like happen that much. If you notice that there is a counter hit, then you better go for like the low block, because otherwise he gets a big lunge and now you get a big lunge. So yeah. Now that was the beginner player side. Now for intermediate players, I'll show you how to deal with this move. Oh, bad punish. So as a conclusion, every time he used the move, he got lunged, except for the first time where I fucked up. How do I do this? Well, I react to everything he does. Everything he does in this string is reactable, but you have to know how to react to it. So you see me actually blocking the second low, but I'm not, in my mind, I'm not like reacting to the first alley kick and then directly going to block low. Why? Because if you do that, you won't be able to block fast enough to go for the mid. So let's put this in practice. So he's going to do the low, and let's say like all the other tutorials you see, you're going to block low after he does the low. You're going to anticipate the second low, and you're going to block low. Well, if he does the mid, then you need to react to the first low with a low block and then go to the mid. So it looks like this, block low, and then you'll eat the mid. It's really hard to do the 2 motions. Now, if you keep standing after the first low, and you react to the low coming out rather than to the mid coming out, you will be able to block both hits. Like this, and bam. I react to everything he does, and bam, you get screwed. Now, as a beginner, if you learn to do it my way, this intermediate way will be easier, because you're not ducking after the first hit, but you're actually standing. I learned it the other way around. I learned it based on the tutorials, and I still eat king's alley kicks just because I'm always ducking after the first hit. Now this was step 1. Well, step 2 of the mix-up is the other way around. You're going to be blocking low, and if he does the mid, you need to react to the mid. So that's the low, that's the low again, that's the low again, and that's the mid. And it's easier to react to that. You will be able to do it. It's just you gotta learn the animation. Now let's say you blocked the 2 first lows, then you get into step 3 of the mix-up, and step 3 he can decide to go for the mid, or he can decide like, you block the first 2 lows, I'm not going to do the mid and I'm going to do nothing. In step 3 you have 2 choices, or you go for the safe choice where you always block mid because you know he's going to do the mid or he's going to do nothing. If he does the mid, you lunge punish, but if he doesn't do the mid, you gotta watch out a bit because alley kicks actually put you really far away. So if your hop kick might not be that long range and you're going to whiff, that hits, but this whiffs, bam. So you don't want that to happen. The safe way of doing it is to get 2 moves. You have your lunge punisher for the mid coming out, and if nothing comes out, you need a long range mid, so this. So to show the safe way of defending, I'm always going to block mid and then I'm going to whiff punish or normal punish. Now the second way, the less safe way, is reacting to the mid again. So if he doesn't do the mid, then you while standing punish. Those while standing punishers like Devil Jin's while standing 2 actually have more range. Yeah, it has a lot of range. And if he does the mid, you block it and you punish this. So this way you're less safe, but you're always guaranteed a launcher if you did it right. So this kind of concludes it. I know it's a really long video for just one move, but alley kicks as a string is actually pretty interesting and pretty complex. Well, not for the king player, so if you're a king player, don't use this too much because you're just putting whether you're going to lose or going to win in the other player's hand. If the other player knows how to deal with this, then you're going to lose, so you actually shouldn't be using this move. But you know, beginner rank players or people who don't know much about the game, they're going to spam this move, so you really have to know how to defend against it. Thank you for watching through the whole video. If you learned something from this, please like and subscribe, because I'm going to do similar content and you might like it.